But God wanted them to know, I am still with you. I have not left you. I just changed the place where you dwell. So do what you need to do to make yourself comfortable. Take husbands, take wives. Give children, allow your children to have wives and bear children. It seems like the day is coming quicker than we would like it to. The days of the scripture talks about when the time will come when children will not be born again. And they will have to go a long way to see a child. The word talks about that. And as I say that, I hear the Spirit says, reap not for me, but reap for yourself and for your children. Because we see as we look around every day, innocent children are being snatched out of life. Innocent. But we have to continue to fast and pray and seek God, because that's what He asked us to do. We cannot sit and do nothing. We've got to work while it's yet day, because when night cometh, no man can work. And that is not darkness, sometimes just getting younger. And having anything to do with the light or the dark, it's about getting younger. See, when you're young, you can do a lot of things. But when you get of age, you may not be able to do them as well as you used to be able to do them. But God gives you the strength that He needs, that you need to do what He wants you to do. And sometimes, I know somebody who would deduce that you get a little extra strength, you want to conquer the world. But God continues to encourage us to study His Word, to seek His face. And as I remember Sister Myrna saying about her children, because I know she gets excited when her grandchildren show up in the building.
Why is the show?
Because the Word says, you bring them up the way they should go when they get old, they shall return. So we need to continue to work with our children as best we try. We can't save everybody. Everybody doesn't even want to be saved. But for those who are willing, we need to continue to make that effort to do what the Lord has called us to do. So as we continue to trust Him, we need to work while it's yet day. We really do. There is so much that needs to be done and so little time to get it done. I know that we're able to continue to move forward in the will of God. But we have to make sure that we don't get out of His will. But let Him know that you're willing to stay the course. Some are beginning to have, as I believe we read in Sunday school this morning, having more dreams than usual. Because the Word talks about the fact that there will become a time when old people will dream dreams and have visions. Young people will prophesy. We have to be open to whatever God will have us to do. And sometimes we need to make sure that it's what He wants us to do and not what we think we should do. In Isaiah 44, in one, it says, "Yet now hear, O Jacob, my servant Israel, whom I have chosen. Thus said the Lord that make thee, and formed thee from the womb, which will help thee. Fear not, O Jacob, my servant, and thou, Jeshurun, whom I have chosen." God has chosen many of you to do many things. Some of us have been chosen from the womb, and yet we've never accepted our rightful place. Some of us, as we grew in age, God called you. And he chose you for a purpose and for his will. Some of us are still waiting. Some of us want to know, and some of us don't. But if there is a calling upon your life, doesn't matter what's going on. Doesn't matter what it looks like. It doesn't matter where he takes you out of your comfort zone, as he did the children of Israel. He will get you where he wants you to be. All those years that they were walking in the wilderness, just around and around and around and around. But they were doing too many of the wrong things and complaining the whole time. And God had to take the lives of all of those people because of disobedience. Now, if he has poured out his Spirit upon your life and in your mind, because we have the Spirit of God within us. We have the Spirit of God within us. But when it's his decision as to when he brings it forth for his purpose. And we have to wait upon the Lord. Because if we get ahead of him, then we're out of our time. As Pastor said, he was always born in due season. Some of us have been born in due season and a time when the time comes. And some of us, he chooses at a different time because he's trying to fill the gap. He's not trying, he's filling the gap. But your day, my brothers and sisters, your day will come. And I pray that we're not like some of his disciples that did not wait upon the Lord and decided to go fishing on their own. Because if we get out of God's time, then we got to wait on his time because it's not time yet. As I was speaking to someone today, I made a statement. And I made that statement because I thought it was true. But the Spirit reminded me of what he told me in the early 90s. But my time for his purpose has not begun. But I'm grateful for where I am at this time. I'm not uncomfortable, but I wish it was different. I've always wanted that. Wanted to be different. Not different about anybody else, but I wanted to be a better person for Christ. That's hard work, my friends. It's very, 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 very hard work if you're listening to the Spirit of the Lord. Because He will say, do this. No, don't you do that. Sometimes we're on this straight and narrow path. And you can just make the slightest move and be out of the will of God. The slightest move. Because we allow life to distract us. We allow people, family, friends, whatever, to cause us to be uncomfortable if we're out of the will of God. Family will do that. But I am so grateful that God is not like man. And He allows you to just step right back in place. Because there's not a one of us that has come into this world except Jesus the Christ that is perfect. And He said, why calleth thou good? Calleth Him good. There is none good but God, His Father. But we have to continue to walk this straight and narrow path. Sometimes if you feel like you're getting exposed out, or exposed in, whichever you want to call it. But sometimes when the way opens up, you go too far. But I'm so glad that God ain't like man. God bless you all. Pray my strength in the Lord.